My name is Lena Walker, and I was 24 the first time I met my mom's new boyfriend. She had been a widow since I was 16. My father, Tom, passed away after a long illness, and though my mother never showed it outwardly, I could tell a piece of her spirit went quiet after that. She still ran her bookstore in Burlington, Vermont, with her usual charm and stubbornness. But the twinkle in her eye, the one I remembered from when she used to dance to old records while making Sunday breakfast, had dimmed. So when she told me over the phone, "There's someone I'd like you to meet," I was stunned. She had met someone. His name was Martin Shaw, and he lived just outside of town. They'd met through a community garden project. She said he loved hiking, books, and sourdough baking. I didn't know what to think. I should have been happy for her. But instead, I felt guarded, protective. Was he just filling a void? Was he genuine? Would he respect her story? Our story? Still, I agreed to meet him. We planned brunch at a local farm-to-table spot near Lake Champlain. I arrived 10 minutes early, as usual, nerves bubbling under my calm facade. Then I saw them, Mom waving excitedly, and next to her, a man with silver hair, a navy blue windbreaker, and the kind of posture that spoke of confidence, not ego. He stood as I approached, extending a hand. "Lena, it's great to meet you. I'm Martin." His voice was warm, not overbearing. I shook his hand. "Hi, thanks for joining us." He chuckled. "I think your mom dragged me here." She rolled her eyes and smiled, and just like that, a layer of tension eased. Over brunch, I expected awkward pauses and forced conversation. Instead, we talked about books. Turns out Martin was a former high school English teacher. He and my mom had bonded over their love for old poetry and community projects. He quoted Robert Frost offhand, not to impress, but because he genuinely loved the words. He didn't try to replace my dad in the conversation. He didn't avoid him either. When my mom mentioned something about their garden, she added, "Tom would have laughed at the mess we made with the compost bins." Martin smiled and nodded. He sounds like he had a great sense of humor. Something about that moment shifted things in me. He wasn't trying to be anything he wasn't. He was just there, with her, respecting the past while being part of the present. After that day, we saw more of each other. Martin helped fix the squeaky floorboards in Mom's bookstore. He attended town events by her side, but always let her take the spotlight. He brought over fresh bread on Sundays and left thoughtful notes for me in the margins of old books he thought I'd enjoy. One said, "Thought you'd like this line. Page 87. I opened the book to that page. Sometimes the best chapters are the ones we never saw coming. A few months later, something unexpected happened. I got a flat tire driving home from work. My phone was nearly dead, and the nearest help was miles away. Mom wasn't answering. I debated calling roadside assistance, but tried Martin instead, mostly out of desperation. He picked up on the first ring. "I'm 20 minutes away," he said. "Hang tight." He showed up with gloves, a flashlight, and calm reassurance. Fixed the tire, checked the pressure, and made sure I had water in the car before letting me go. That moment meant more than a dozen brunches. He didn't lecture, didn't overstep, just helped. And I realized he showed up for people. Quietly, consistently. As seasons passed, Martin became part of our rhythm. Not in a way that erased my dad's memory, but in a way that honored it. One day, I found my mom and Martin in the bookstore's back office, sorting through a box of old photos. They were laughing over one in particular, my dad holding me up during a snowball fight. Martin looked up at me. Your dad had great taste in winter hats. It wasn't a joke at Tom's expense. It was a bridge. The next week, I invited Martin to join me on a hike. He brought homemade trail mix and asked questions about my job, my writing, my future. He never acted like a step anything. He was just a presence, steady, respectful, quietly kind. I told him, toward the top of the hill, I was nervous when Mom said she was dating. He smiled. You had every right to be. I guess I thought no one would ever really fit. He nodded. Neither did I, until I met her. Now, 3 years later, Martin and my mom are married. Their wedding was a simple backyard affair with books as centerpieces and jazz in the background. I gave a speech. I said, my dad once told me that love, at its best, feels like being seen clearly and held gently. And somehow, Mom found that again. I looked at Martin and added, thank you for being the chapter we didn't expect, but one we're so glad to have.